Okay, so here we have Miss Allie B. She has come to my house with absolutely no makeup on, but as you can see, she is gorgeous anyway. So I'm going to start her makeup with a makeup wipe just to get the skin kind of all clean and exfoliated. And it just takes off like any oil that you might have on or even like a little leftover moisturizer because I like to start right from scratch. So because Allie had mentioned to me that her skin is pretty dry, I'm doing a pretty thick layer of Embryolisse moisturizer, which I find it's really rich, but it's really nice under makeup. And I'm gonna do the moisturizer first, and then we'll go to the eyes so that by the time I get to the foundation, the concealer, and the face, all the moisturizer is soaked in. And then here's just a little bit of eye cream. This is the Fast Response eye cream from MAC, so it just kind of like depuffs. So I'm just kind of making sure everything is blended in, and we're gonna let that kind of sink into the skin and move on to the eyes. So starting the eyes with the NARS eyeshadow primer. It's the NARS eyeshadow base, I think they call it, but it's just like a sheer kind of white color. And then I'm going in with a fluffy brush, and the palette that I'm using today, I apologize for not showing it. It is the Tartelette in Bloom, which is a really nice mix of some warm browns and some shimmers. So I'm just buffing one of the paler colors. It's just about a shade or two darker than Allie's skin tone. The name of it is called Smarty Pants, and I'm just buffing that over the lid. And then I'm taking the next color, which is Sweetheart, and I'm just starting to carve out the crease in the outer corner. So Allie had mentioned to me she wanted something really natural, so we're just kind of using a little bit of shimmer right on the lid, which is the color Rocker. And as you can see, it's coming along and it's looking pretty nice. So I went in with the paler color under the brow bone just to give her a little highlight, and this color is actually called Charmer, so it's the upper left color in the palette, so it's great for under the brow bone and it's not shiny. So this is a little bit of NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer, and I'm using the color Creme Brûlée, and I started with under the eyes because I'm going to be using Studio Scult foundation, which I'm starting to buff onto Allie's skin, which is a thicker foundation. So I usually don't put that under the eyes. Sometimes I'll do foundation and then concealer right on top, but I'm doing concealer and then nothing on top, and the foundation is just going to go on the face. And this is the Studio Sculpt by MAC in NC20, but then I mixed a little bit of like an NW50 in it because I just wanted it a touch lighter. So it looks a little pale when you first get it on, but once I buff it in and it sets and all that sort of thing, it will oxidize about a half a shade darker, so it'll be just the color that I need. And you can see I'm just really buffing, and then I'm taking this sponge that has been wet and I'm just kind of pressing it and almost pushing the foundation into the skin and helping it to sort of absorb with the moisturizer, because I want this to really look like skin. Allison mentioned that she wanted it to be really natural, and you know, this is not wedding makeup that's got to last all day. It was just for an event that she was going to that night, you know, a little more casual, so we don't want to make it look too mask-like. So once the foundation's on, everything is one color, which is what you want, but then I'm starting to go in with a little bit of contour. This is a cream contour. It's the Anastasia cream contour kit, and I'm just very, very naturally and lightly carving out the cheekbone again, carving the top of the forehead, and just kind of blending everything in the way I want it to be. So it's really seamless, but you still have a little bit of dimension, and it'll photograph really nice, and it'll just give you also a little bit of color in your face. I find that a contour, if I use a color that's not too cool, it almost doubles as a bronzer, so it's like finding that perfect sort of warm but not too warm, cool but not too cool color. And then I'm just dusting the face, now that we've got all the cream products down, with MAC Mineralize Skin Finish in Medium Plus, and I find that helps to kind of bring the foundation and just kind of set it, but without making it too powdery. But speaking of powder, I use the MAC Set Powder under the eyes because I just want to give a little highlight there, and I want to make sure that the under eye area is set really nicely, it's lit up a little bit, and that there's no creasing, especially when you use products that are a little more emollient under the eyes. they can crease. So you want to be really careful to set them. I'm just tapping a little bit of blush. This is MAC Melba on the cheeks, really light because this was just really natural makeup that we just really wanted to look nice for the moment in person, and starting to dust away some of that powder under the eyes. So now that the face is coming together, I'm just carving a little bit of the brows out. Ellie has great brows, but I'm adding a little bit of this pencil. This is just a Maybelline pencil, and this is the medium brown color, I believe. And I really didn't have to do much. I'm just kind of adding a little color and kind of giving them a little more shape. So under the eyes, we're using a little bit of liner, which is the only place we're putting liner today. Nothing on the top lid because Allison mentioned that she does not like it and it does not look good on her. So just a little bit of this Costa Riche, and then very lightly kind of faded out with a pencil brush, and I've dipped that into a little bit of the Sweetheart color, just so it's really like faded and there's no harsh lines. If you just draw a line with a pencil, most of the time it's a little bit too harsh for the under eye, so I'm just kind of blending it in, and then whatever's left on the brush, I'm kind of buffing that into the outer corner just to add a little more depth and dimension. So a little bit of eyelash curling, which is pretty self-explanatory. And then before I hit the lashes with mascara, I'm just going to mist Allison's face with MAC Fix Plus. And I like to do that before I do mascara because a couple of reasons. Well, if it's not waterproof mascara, it can run. I always use water mascara, but sometimes people will sort of flinch when you come at them with a mist. And if the mascara's not totally dry, they'll sort of like squeeze their eyes and then they transfer it. So just a little check-in. So far, so good, and it's really coming along. I think all we need now at this point is a lip. So I'm using MAC Half and Half, which is just like a nice creamy beigey pink. And I'm going in with a little bit of MAC liner in Spice, which I thought just kind of coupled really well with this monochromatic look. Oh, and I failed to mention, I also put a little bit of MAC Warm Soul on the cheeks, and I use that kind of in lieu as a highlighter because it's got a nice mineralized finish. And that is that. I hope you guys like that look, and let me know if you have any questions below.